Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new. So I'm Sky. Hello everyone, it's Sky here. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new. So today we are going to be diving on into our April color along, which I'm super excited to announce. I've kept this one secret. I chose this one myself and I couldn't help myself when choosing. I hope you guys like the image. So I decided to choose one from Hannah's newest book, which is Whimsy Girls Celebrate the Holidays. And of course, since it's the month of Easter, we're going to color this page because she is adorable and there's so much detail, and we do have 5 Fridays for the month of April. So that means that we have 5 parts to the color along that we can utilize. So I am really excited to take my time, and I'm actually going to challenge myself with her. I am not going to refer to my combinations book at all. I'm going to strictly choose the combinations based on my instincts, and we're gonna see how it goes. And if a crazy color pops into my head, we're gonna go with it. Really? You interrupting me? Okay, bye. Okay, before I was rudely interrupted by Miss Miko, who wanted out very promptly. I don't know how it's going to turn out because I'm just going to be putting these crazy colors in here, but we will see. So I'm going to stick a couple sheets of paper in behind this page. Even though I'm not using any mediums that bleed through, it's still good to have a couple pieces of paper behind to protect the tooth of the pages in behind so they don't get indented too much. So we've got that, and we're going to dive on in. I'm so excited. So if you don't have this book yet, this is your incentive to get it. I'm not enabling you in any way. Yes, I am. Okay, let's dive on in. Okay, so I'm, as always, going to start with what I know for sure, color-wise. So we're going to start on the trees. And the first color is probably going to surprise you guys, but we're going to go in with dark purple, and I don't know why, I just feel like we should, so we're going to go with it. So I'm going to pop in some dark purple in behind all of these little bits of leaves. So this is going to be the shadow color, and I don't know how this is going to turn out. I have not tested my combinations on a piece of paper, as per usual, because I usually never take the time to do that, so that's not really new, but so yes, I will be just as surprised as you guys. This page is so adorable and festive. I'm super excited to give her some freckles. And then she's got this fluffy collar, so we'll definitely be using some acrylic paint there to fluff that up. And we might as well fluff up her ears as well. And oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So today filming this, it's actually only March 11th. Actually a little bit behind. I wanted part 1 and 2 recorded already. I was hoping to get them recorded Wednesday. I'll only have time to record one part today, I think. but I want to start getting a decent head start on the color alongs just in case something pops up, because something always does. So I already did post up the I have the May color along options posted up forever ago. Like back in February, I think, or like the very beginning of March, I'm not sure. And I posted them because I was thinking that I was posting the April options, but I wasn't, because I already had the April image picked out. Or no, sorry. I thought I was posting the March options, is what it was, while I was already recording the March color along. I had a week in there where I ended up working over 40 hours, and it takes a toll on you. So I was not at full brain capacity around then. So yeah, I thought I was giving you guys March options, but I wasn't, because I was already recording the March color along, and then I already had April planned out. I already knew I was going to be coloring this for a color along in April, so you guys got some really early May options, and I'm really excited for the one that you guys chose. This is confusing. Okay, I don't know how I feel about this little thing here, because this looks like it's underneath this bit, but then it looks like this is over top of this, so I don't know how to color that. Yeah, well, this does look like it's coming in from over top of this part here, so let's put in a shadow underneath. Maybe like up to here. And then we'll just bring this shadow down here like this and leave it like that, I guess. I don't really know how else to color that. It's a little bit weird. My brain can't quite comprehend what's going on there. I also don't like small areas like this, because I don't know, is that tree or sky right there? Should probably just color it in as tree. on the plus side, once we get the trees colored, that's like a huge portion of the picture already done. There's so much tree. Kind of torn now. With seeing this purple in here, my brain's like, hey, we should do these trees pink. And I'm like thinking that that's an awesome idea, but at the same time, I just don't know. Kind of make them like cherry blossom trees. It would be pretty. It's something unusual. I don't know if I've ever colored pink trees before. I think I'm gonna go ahead with coloring these pink. I think they would look really pretty. I'm also gonna see though if anybody else has colored this picture. Oh, after I drop my phone on the floor. Okay, it's still good. I've had this phone for, I don't know how many years. Probably about almost 4 years, maybe more, I'm not sure. And so far I've been able to keep it in decent shape. And my goal is to keep keeping it in decent shape. Sometimes that's easier said than done. I'm going to see if anybody else has colored this picture. Let's just see what it's even called first. I don't think I ever checked. It is called Easter Sunday. We've got some trees in the background here, but I'm not really sure what's going to be tree and what's going to be sky. If like all of this is tree, let's maybe put a shadow in underneath this branch here too. Okay. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to focus on these two main trees because I don't know if I want to make these cherry trees as well. That's not even a tree, that's her sleeve. Okay, I don't know if I want to make these cherry trees as well or if I want to make them normal trees. So I'm gonna leave those and we'll kind of see how it goes and we'll see what my brain thinks later. Now I'm gonna have to pick out some colors for this too though, so I will be right back. Okay, got some new colors. I'm even more excited now and nervous. I'm also curious on how that color combination that I picked out would have looked, but I think this is going to be worth it. Okay, so we're going to come in with the Process Red and we're going to add this into the shadows. And then as always, we're going to bring it out a little bit. We're definitely going to try and save highlights where we can, but it's okay if some parts are more shadowed than others. That'll just add to the interest and dimension of the tree. This bit here, I think I'm just going to color this in fully. I'm not going to completely burnish it because I want to go over it with the lightest color too, just to mute it down a little bit, but I can also put a little bit of this color in on these kind of bigger puffs here. Don't need a whole lot, but just a little bit. Give them some dimension. I can't wait to see this page finished. I'm also like very indecisive on her hair too, and her dress, honestly. I originally was thinking like bleach blonde, would be super cute, but I'm also thinking orange too. Especially since she's got freckles, orange would be cute, but I feel like both would look good. I'm not so sure about the orange with like a whole bunch of pink in the back now though. I feel like it would still look okay, but I'm not really sure. So kind of decide that as we go too. And then her dress, I was thinking either light pink or blue. Light purple would be cool too. Definitely like into the pastel Easter colors for sure. totally cliche and generic, but I love it. This page is just, I don't know what it is about this page. I just love it. I'm not even like a huge fan of Easter, but I don't know. This page is just speaking to me. These look so pretty already. I don't know if I need the hot pink or not. I do have it out, but I'm just going to test it out here and see. Yeah, I think I'll use it. So I'm going to mostly use this in the shadows and to bring it out just a little bit further. I'm going to keep it pretty light though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and keep the tops of these more light. So all of these little bumps at the very top will be lighter than any that are kind of like down below here. So like for example, this I would probably just color in with the hot pink. And then fade this up a little bit. And then ones like this that only have like, so for example, this one has a top and a bottom all on this one part. This one is only coming out of the bottom, so I still want to keep that light. I want trees like this in my backyard. It'd be so awesome. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I'm just going to soften up some of these fades that are a little bit harsh because our next colors are fairly light, so I want to make sure they'll fade in nicely. Okay, so the next color is Deco Pink. I don't know how much of this I want to add, but this isn't a color that I use a whole lot, so I'm also going to use this to kind of burnish the shadows. So I'm going to go in over top of the shadows, burnish those, and then bring it up a little bit. And I'm going to save another highlight wherever I can for our last two colors. I've got two colors set aside, but I'm not really sure if I want to use both of them or opt for just one of them. Getting a little bit of pencil dust. Try and get rid of that. sharpen this up a little bit more. The sharper the pencil is, the easier it is to burnish. I'm quite happy with how much white space I've been able to keep too. But that's usually how it is when you're working with lighter colors anyways, so. And just burnish in this whole area here. I want to keep that a little bit darker. Add some nice contrast to the trees. Hannah definitely outdid herself on these trees. They are just beautiful. I'm glad I decided to attempt to use purple as a shadow for the greens, because otherwise it wouldn't have led to this gorgeous cherry tree. Alright, if you've watched this far, what is your least favorite thing about coloring? For me, I think it's the amount of time that it takes. I'm not a very patient person, I'll be honest. Especially when you consider my lack of free time as it is. You know, between both YouTube channels and my 2 jobs, and then the boys and the animals, there's really not a whole lot of time left for anything else. In fact, this year I have hardly colored, and I probably would never color if it weren't for the color-alongs. It's easier to find time for these because I feel committed to it. So for me, it's like I'm not just sitting down and having personal time. I'm getting something done that I need to get done. It's just a bonus that it's also something that I really enjoy doing. But when it comes to just sitting down and coloring for myself, I have a hard time finding time for that. There's usually always other things that need to get finished first that take priority, and then usually by the time I'm done those things, I just don't have the energy to even just sit here and color. I'll end up laying in bed watching YouTube videos for like 20 minutes and then falling asleep. It's actually really nice, and well, I don't know weather-wise if it's nice, but it's sunny out today. So that part is nice. So Rain and I are gonna take Bear for a walk. I've got to go to the bank anyways, so we're gonna multitask and go for a walk and spend some time together. So I'm really looking forward to that. It's not very often that him and I do stuff together because I'm usually busy with other stuff. He's got a lot on the go, and I mean, I'm definitely not complaining. I enjoy being busy. I enjoy having things to do. I'm one of those people, like if I'm, we're gonna switch to, the last two colors I have are cream and light peach, and I think I want to use both of them, honestly. So I think we're gonna do a mix, and they're actually like pretty much the exact same size too. How cute is that? They're like twins. Let's start with the light peach. What was I saying? I'm the type of person, like if I'm not doing anything, like let's say that I am just like scrolling Facebook on my phone or like watching shows or something like that, I get like grumpy. Does anybody else get like that? I'm just like irritated. Like I think it's like a too much screen time thing. I don't know, it's strange. I actually don't know how much I'm liking the light peach, so maybe we'll just do a little bit with this color and then we'll switch to the cream, I think. Color in down here too, I think. Trying to have enough in here that it doesn't look weird since I've already added it, but not so much that it's overwhelming. We want to make sure that we're kind of blending it into the other colors as well. Otherwise it's kind of going to look like it doesn't belong, and we don't want that. It's actually kind of growing on me. I wasn't sure at first, but that different tone is actually really eye-catching. Okay, let's go in with the cream and see what that looks like, and then we can decide if we want to put in more of the light peach or keep more of the cream. Or I like both. I think I'm actually going to go with more of the light peach, so I'll just throw the cream in a few of these spots that we left open and then finish the rest with the light peach. so pretty. My phone does not do this justice. It's a little bit darker. I kind of like it on the phone too. The lighter version of it looks nice, but it's a little bit darker than how it's showing up on the phone. And we're almost already at an hour. I think what I'm gonna do, we do have 5 parts, but I'm a little bit worried that it's, I'm always worried. I'm a little bit worried that it's still gonna be a lot to do in 5 parts. So I'm gonna keep the parts at an hour and a half max. So some will be under an hour and a half, some will be at around an hour and a half. And if we end up finishing this before part 5, then that's fine. The 5th Friday of the month can just be the speed color. Usually I have the last part and the speed color coming out on the same day, but I want to make sure that we give ourselves enough time because I am terrible at estimating how long this is going to take. Point in case I thought that these trees would take half an hour and they've taken an hour, so yeah. I think with the tree stumps as well, I was originally going to go with brown, but I want to do them gray. So I'm going to grab some gray colors and then we'll color those. Okay, got some grays. I am torn between having like a blue toned gray or like a yellow toned gray. I don't know what I want to do. Okay, let's start in with the 50% warm gray, and I'm going to make sure that we are in frame. Should be good there. Okay, so I'm just going to bring this in on these lines that Hannah has drawn in here. I'm going to keep them pretty whimsical and cartoony, so I'm going to go kind of heavy on these lines and then just fade them out a little bit. I'm just fading them out to the left. And so I'm going to do the opposite, fade them out to the right. And I'm making this really messy just because tree bark usually is messy. It's not really perfect. Okay, so there's the 50% warm gray. I want them to be light, so I think I'm actually going to skip the 30%. I'm not going to use that. Let's skip straight to the 20%. I'm going to pop in a little bit of this just in over top and coming out from the 50%. Don't want a whole lot of this though. I want it to be fairly light. And I'm just going to color around these flags too, just to keep it a little bit darker around that area. So that way the flags stand out. And I think I'm going to go with a blue toned gray. I think think yellow would mesh with the trees too much. The trees already have kind of a yellow tinge to them. Or the leaves, I should say. The leaves already have a yellow tinge to them. Again, just kind of outline these flags. Fade it out from that outline too, so that way it doesn't look harsh and like it's not supposed to be there. But yeah, I think if I used yellow on the trunks as well, it would kind of take away from the tree aspect. So I think I'm going to go in with a blue, but I want to make it bluey gray, so I'm going to go in with a slate gray. And I'm just going to very, very lightly, so I only want a tinge of this, I don't want a whole lot. Just going to very lightly go over everything. Okay, let's go back in with the 50% warm gray. Actually, I'm gonna go in with the black just slightly, so just a little bit underneath here, and then mostly here where it kind of disappears under the leaves. And then from there, we're just going to use our 10% warm gray. We did use the 20, right? Yeah. Yeah, we skipped the 30. That's right. Okay. So 10% warm gray. And I'm just going to go in an up and down motion here. I don't want to wreck these lines that we put in here. If we go diagonal, it's going to spread the pigment this way, and it's going to make it so it smudges together. We don't want that. We want these lines to kind of maintain a little bit. Let's go back in with the black here quick. I'm just going to add a little tiny bit to the bottom of this tree and the bottom of this one. Kind of forgot about that too. There we go. And then we can blend that out. Yeah, I think I like the gray contrast with the pink. So we're only at about an hour, but I'm going to leave it here and take a break, and then I think the last little bit will probably do the grass and maybe the bushes. We'll see what we have time for, but that is what it's looking like right now. I am obsessed. I'm like really excited to finish this. I would color this all in a day if I had the time. Okay, I will be back in a while, but for you guys, it'll be a couple seconds. All right, wow, that was way longer than a little bit. It's actually been a few days. Let's see, I think we were like an hour in on the last recording that I did, so I think we've got about half an hour to hit our hour and a half maximum point. It's the maximum that I would like to have. So I'm a little bit disorganized here, but we're going to dive right back on into this. Okay, so I think the next part we're going to tackle is, I think the grass. Okay, I think what we're going to do is we're going to do along the same lines that we did with Farron. So if you didn't watch that color along, that's her here. She is from Mythical Maidens and Curious Creatures by Hannah Lynn. And we added in this really whimsical looking grass in the foreground just to fill in some of this hill. And I really like how that turned out. And even though this isn't really a huge hill, I think we would really benefit from adding that in here as well. We do have all of these tulips here though, so I'm not quite sure how well it's gonna work, but we're gonna do what we can anyways. And if it makes a difference, awesome. If not, then it's worth the effort anyways, just in case it does. So I'm gonna keep this open here. It's a little bit of reference, and we're gonna dive on in with this. So I'm gonna grab my black if I can find it. Okay, there's my swatch, and here is my black, which I'm gonna put in a pencil extender because it's getting a little bit too small to hold. So we got to figure out what is tulip stem and what is not. And we also got to make sure that we're in frame. I would like to zoom in a little bit here for you guys. Maybe about this much. And then if we keep it there, we'll still be in frame. Okay. So maybe what we'll do first, before we go in with this, let's go in with, I think it's the pale sage that I want. I'm not sure, just one sec here. Yeah, pale sage. Let's go in with the pale sage, and we're going to use this on the tulip stems. I don't know if we'll have enough time to color them in this part, but let's go ahead and give them a base. So I'm just going to put a light layer of the pale sage on these. That way we don't accidentally color them the wrong color. Now we'll go with these more obvious ones first. And then these other lines in the background will kind of go from there and try and figure it out. Okay, so we've got an extra line here and here. So I'm just going to assume that this part here is some kind of leaf, because that just makes the most sense. And then this part here is a stem up to this flower. So then everything else here, I think it would be grass, although there's also a line here. So let's just make this a stem as well. And then here we've only got like this one little bit here, so I'm just going to assume this whole part is like a a leaf coming in from behind this stem. And then I've also definitely got a leaf here. There's a line here that suggests this is a leaf as well, so let's just go ahead and color that in, and then same with this one here. So we'll just do like a cluster of leaves on this side, and then I think everything else will be grass. Okay, so then we'll come back in with the black. I'm just going to start by adding a little bit of shading in at the very bottom here, fading it up. See, we've also got around here to remember too. I'm gonna see, can't remember if I've already looked up a picture or not for this one, but I'm gonna hop over to the whimsical group, pun intended, and see if I can find this page. Okay, so I'm assuming here we've got grass, so let's color this in. At least we're going to color this in as grass anyways. Her elbow would end right around here. We've got this bow here and then her hair. So I don't think we can see anything else on this side. This side, however, I'm going to guess that her torso is here. And then her elbow ends here. So this will most likely be grass. Her dress would be here. This little bit here would probably be grass as well. Okay, so then let's just carry on adding our black in here. Figuring out what's what is half the battle of coloring a picture, so once you've got that done, you've got a good start. Let's see about throwing in some grass here. I would like to try and make it come up a little bit where we can, but it's going to be a little bit tricky in areas like this where we've got the bush right behind, because obviously we don't really want to go too in front of the bush. So we are at a little bit of a disadvantage here, but we'll do what we can. That's probably good there with the black. Next color is dark green. So make sure we got a sharp point. We're going to go in over top of the black, and then we're also going to kind of bring this up with little flicking motions as well. I'm going to try to be careful not to go over the flowers. However, if it happens, we can just erase that out. It's not a big deal. Just going to bring the green up a little bit from the black. Going to assume this bit here is probably a flower too, and then stem, I think. think that looks good there. So we're not able to put a whole lot of grass in, but it'll definitely help this area look more full and more interesting. So next color is grass green. So I'm going to use this to kind of burnish these darker areas. And then I think I'm just going to bring this up a little bit. I'm not working in little circles like I normally would. I'm going straight up and down with the pencil strokes of the grass that we just put in. Bring a little bit of this color in behind this bush. I think I'm gonna darken it up behind the bush though. I don't know why, I just feel like I should. Like I said, we're going all on instinct for the most part. Let's add just a few little wayward grass here too. And then we'll lightly fade this out. Do the same thing here. We'll fade this out a little bit lower on this side, just so they don't exactly match. We can fade this off in kind of strokes too, so that way it doesn't look so even, which I think will help since it's grass. Okay, let's switch back to the dark green for a second here. And I think I'm just going to use this to go in behind the bushes a little bit. So I'm just going to add a little bit of a darker color and fade it out. Here we are going in with the spring green. I'm going to sharpen mine up a little bit. So as always, we're just going to go in over top of the other colors, bring it in a little bit to blend it, and then bring it out. I'm going to bring it up all the way to under this bush here, but then closer to this side of the hill we'll leave a little bit of a highlight. still going to lightly go over this area, but we're going to go over it with a different color. And then we're going to do the same thing here. So under this bush, and I think we might go over this with another color too, just underneath to darken it up. But for the most part, this whole area is going to be the spring green, and then try and leave a little bit of a highlight here. So before we forget, let's go in with the dark green. Just underneath here. From there, our last color is going to be the cream. I'm just going to lightly bring that into the spring green as well, just to really mix the two together. And it's also going to help burnish it a little bit more too. There's that. Let's see what we're at for time. Okay, we're only at about 20 minutes. I think we do have enough time to do the stems of the flowers. We might as well, since we started them. So we're going to go in with our cobalt turquoise. And this we're going to pop in for our shadows. So I'm going to make shadow on the left side of these stems, and then on the leaves, just kind of in the center. You can put a little bit of shadow here and there too, so maybe underneath this one, since this leaf crosses over top. A little bit on this side of this leaf since it's quite a bit larger. And then let's just base this one here, and this one in behind here. Okay, this side we're going to do the opposite, so we're going to have the shadows on the right side of the stems. But for the most part, our shadows are still going to be in the center and then just wherever the leaves should be in shadow, which is sometimes kind of hard to figure out, but I think that looks good. I don't want to go too overboard with the shadows because since we have such a dark background area here, I really want these stems and leaves to kind of pop through. So our next color is the light aqua, and I actually don't want a whole lot of that either. But we'll pop a little bit in because it's going to be our transition color between the cobalt turquoise and the pale sage. And it's also going to pull the stems away from the green background a little bit because it's more blue. So we're basically just going to add a little tiny bit of this in, fade it out where we can, but we're going to leave the majority of the stems as is. We're going to add a little bit of a shadow in on this side. I think that's good there. And then the last little bit is going to be with the pale sage. If I can find the swatch card for that. I just had it. There we go. Okay, so I want a really sharp point on this guy right now. Mine's pretty dull. Oh, and it broke on me. Ah, dang it. Making messes. And it's stuck in there. Pale sage, why you do me like this? Oh, it keeps busting on me. Okay. Little pencil flakes everywhere from my sharpener. Just try and clean those up the best I can. It's always annoying when those get on your page and smudge color everywhere. I think I got them all, hopefully. Okay, so with the pale sage, we're just going to come in and we're going to go over everything. And we're just going to use those small little circles to kind of blend everything together. I'm going to color over the black lines of these stems and petals too, because that'll help give it a light effect and kind of pop it out from the background too. Coloring Hannah's work always brings me some much needed happiness. It's so pretty. I am loving this page already. I'm so excited to see it completed. I'm not really sure what color to do the tulips yet. I think it will depend on what color I do her dress. So for now, we're gonna leave those because I'm a little bit undecided there. Usually I start with the things that I know what color I want them to be, and then other things along the way just start falling into place, and then it just kind of goes like that. Sometimes I'm really undecided and then I need to ask someone for advice, but there we go. All right, I think that is a really good start for part one. It's almost exactly half an hour to color, so that is awesome. I mean, this last part, so it should be pretty darn close to an hour and a half, I think. So we are going to leave part one here. Hopefully you guys are enjoying so far. Actually, I lied. Let's go back in with the dark green just for a sec. These little bits here look super whimsical, but these ones look like they just end, and I don't like that. So I'm just gonna come in and just put a few more lighter, just bits of grass here. There we go. Let's do the same on this side. Okay, I like that better. Do a little bit with the grass green too to get a different color in there, and then that should be good. All right. So now that's it for part one. As always, I hope you guys are enjoying. I really can't wait to finish this with you guys. I hope she turns out magnificent. If you guys like this video, would you please give it a thumbs up? It helps me out a lot and I would seriously appreciate it. And yeah, so hopefully I will see you in the next part. Take care, guys, and see you next time. Bye!
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me?